Hello, nerds! Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your week in Nerdom Music Edition for the week of April 9th, 2018. This week in music, we have a bunch of new music to talk about. We have new music announcements. We've got some hip-hop stuff going on over at NYU. Really interesting stuff going on in music, so let's jump into the intro real quick.
Quiet on the set, rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
Now, before we get into the news, there's a couple of business items we have to get out of the way. This weekend is, in fact, Dink Denver. So the underground comic art and tattoo art and stuff convention is this weekend. I will be there in an official capacity covering it. I will be trying to get interviews. I know the original creator, James O'Barr, the creator of The Crow, is going to be there, so I'm going to try and interview him. Definitely trying for an interview with John Leguizamo, so stay tuned for that, hopefully. And so much other stuff is going on at Dink, so we are gearing up for a couple of episodes. We'll be doing a What's in My Camera Bag as we're going over to Dink. We'll be doing a How to Comic-Con for Dink. We will also be doing an Adventures in Photography for Dink. So if you want to see something specific, there is a list of shots that the people who put on the convention, they have given me a list of things that they are looking for, so I'm going to add some of that stuff to the list. Stay tuned for the Adventures in Photography episode to see all of that information. But if you want to contribute to the Adventures in Photography episodes, then you can leave me suggestions in the comments for consideration. There's no guarantee I'm going to add your suggestion to the list unless you become a patron. Patreon.com/generallynerdy is the place to do that. And also, we have a sponsor for this week. This week's episode is sponsored by the Your Mom Thinks I'm Advertiser Friendly t-shirt. Looks a little something like this. You can find it over on the Teespring store, teespring.com/stores/generallynerdy. And this, it looks like this. There's other shirts over there too, but this one is the one that is sponsoring this week's episode. Now let's jump into the news real quick because I'm starting to get really excited about this. So first we're going to go through all of the new music stuff that we're going, the actual new released music, and then we have some announcements and so on and so forth. So first on the list, we have a new song from Sevendust called Not Original off of their new record that we talked about a couple weeks ago. Sevendust used to be heavy. This song sounds like radio rock from the late 90s, early aughts, just nothing at all difficult to listen, like you don't have to digest anything. Really basic song structure, 1-4-5 kind of chord structure, and just nothing. I used to have a passing appreciation for Sevendust, and now that is very quickly slipping away. You can find a link to that song down in the description, but we're just gonna kick on down the road because we've got a bunch of stuff going on this week in music news. Next is a band we talked about last week, and that's Bleeding Through. Last week we got like a 10-second clip. This week we get a whole song. It's not the same song. It's not Revenge I Still Seek. The name of this song is Set Me Free. It's off of the record Love Will Kill All, the one that's coming out May 25th is when it'll be coming out. And it's if you're familiar with where Bleeding Through has gone for their last 6 records, then this is no surprise. It's a very blackened kind of hardcore, and it's really good. Brandon Chiappetti, however you say that guy's last name, definitely has not lost his stride, and yeah, it's good stuff. Definitely check that out. Link in the description. Let's talk about that song. Next on the list is Five Finger Death Punch, put out a new song called Fake. This one's off of their upcoming record, Justice for None, which is a little ambitious of a name, comparing yourself to Metallica when you make super safe radio rock. Nah, not saying that Metallica's not all that safe these days anyway either, but there was a point when Metallica, especially with the And Justice for All record, where Metallica was edgy, like legitimately something new and something that challenged boundaries, and I don't know that Five Finger Death Punch does that. This song, so there is a good thing to say about this song, and it's that Ivan's voice is becoming more varied again. But instrumentally, they're doing the exact same stuff they've done. This could literally be on any of their other records and would not feel out of place. There's no uniformity to anything they've been writing for the last 10, 12 years, however long they've been together. And I don't know, it's just weak. It's super weak. And yeah, you can check the video. There's a link in the description for that. Go listen to it if you dare. It's not very good. I mean, for Five Finger Death Punches, it is about what you would expect. So take with that what you will. And next we're kicking on to Stone Sour. Stone Sour put out a new record off of their Hydrograd album, or put out a new song off of their Hydrograd record called Saint Marie this week. And this is Stone Sour's Countryside. I dig it. The slide guitar starts off super subtle for the first two verses, and then as the song really kicks into it towards the latter third or so, it definitely becomes a very pronounced instrument, and it fits very well. Corey's lyrics, Corey has been one of my favorite lyricists for a very, very, very long time, and this song just shows why. Just he's so descriptive, he makes you see these abstract things that he's saying, and that in and of itself is a very amazing feat. Marty, I'm gonna specifically say you should check this song out. I feel like you will have an appreciation for it, at least on the production side. Maybe not content-wise in the lyrics, but production side, I bet you'll have some enjoyment out of this. So Marty, check this song out, man. Everyone that can hear that it is watching this video, definitely go check this song out. Link to the video is in the description. And we're kicking on to other Corey Taylor related news. This one is Slipknot. So we're out of the new music, the new releases, and we're into other new music announcements. So Corey Taylor announced that Slipknot is attempting to put out their next record sometime in 2019. Who called it? Ooh, I did. Yeah, so he says that he was talking to Billboard, and he says he's written lyrics for almost all of the new record. They have narrowed down. Sean, one of the drummers, said that a few weeks ago we talked about it, said they have about 27 songs that they're working out. They have narrowed it down to a proper song list, therefore Corey has lyrics, and they'll be going into the studio hopefully once Stone Sour comes off of the road with, they're going to go on tour with Ozzy starting in August. So that's going to be about a 3-month trek, if I remember correctly. And then once that's done, then they can move into the studio. And assuming everything goes as planned, we will get a new new Slipknot record next year. I'm assuming probably fall time. We can narrow that down a little bit more. So that's freaking awesome. Next on the list, though, we are talking about Clutch. Clutch has been releasing, this is their second video. It's behind the scenes stuff from them recording their most recent record in Nashville. Link to it is down in the description. Just a really cool little thing to tide us over till we get actual music from them. It's like documentary style, so it's really interesting. Go watch it if you are a fan of Clutch. If you're not a fan of Clutch, you could probably skip it because there's nothing spectacular about it, but it's cool to see that process with other bands. Next on the list, we are talking about one of my favorite records that's come out in the last 5 years or so. Came out about 4 years ago. It's 2014. It's from the group Killer Be Killed. Supergroup with Max Cavlara. We've got Greg Puciato from Dillinger Escape Plan, Troy Sanders from Mastodon. They just got a new drummer. Their previous drummer was Dave Ellich. He used to play for Mars Volta. Now he's playing for Anti-Mask is the name of his new group. So because he's in that new group, he couldn't do this new record. So their new drummer is Ben Kohler, who plays for Converge. So he should be right at home with this supergroup. According to a podcast called Red Light District Show, Max says that they are actually meeting this week to do writing sessions, so we will very likely see something new from Killer Be Killed, probably also next year, because if they're just now starting the writing process, that means we've got probably a month or two of writing and then recording, and then they'll release it and hopefully go on tour. Yes. One can only hope, because, again, Killer Be Killed, their first record, I can't remember the name of it, and it's in my notes, but I don't want to go digging for it. Their first record was great. This record hopefully will be even better, because the first record, like, you can pick out all the different parts that were written by the different guys, because it sounds just like their bands. The Max Cavlara parts sound like Soulfly, the Troy Sanders parts kind of sound like Mastodon, the Greg Puciato parts kind of sound like Dillinger. So hopefully they, after having played those tunes for so long, now they can kind of start to blend those sounds a little better. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then our last bit of news this week for music is QTip is teaching a class at NYU. He's teaching a jazz and hip-hop course at the New York University Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music in the Tisch School of the Arts. He will be co-teaching this with music journalist Ashley Kahn, and the course will begin September 5th. And it sounds like the first half of the class, the first half of the semester, is going to be basically Ashley teaching how jazz inspired and influences hip hop, and then it'll be the second half. Sounds like QTip is going to be teaching. Sounds like the second half of the semester is going to be QTip teaching how those mechanics work and how to perform with that in mind. So it's going to be, sounds like it's going to be a really interesting thing. I hope more music schools pick up something similar. I know that Berkeley Institute of Sound, or whatever it is, out in California, has a class on Meshuggah and the infusions that Meshuggah puts into that super heavy stuff. So just more great hands-on stuff with artists would be fantastic. But that, guys, is the end of this week's music episode. What did I miss? What should we talk about next week? Definitely let me know in the comments below. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, then jump over to the website. GenerallyNerdy.net is the place that you can do that. You can find all the links to the social medias, all the freebies, the links to the merchandise stores as well, so you can go get your Generally Nerdy merch over at GenerallyNerdy.net. If you would rather support more directly, then you can jump over to patreon.com/generallynerdy. That is the place to go if you want to help me on a monthly basis. You can jump on for just $1 a month. It goes an incredible long way. You guys don't even know. And you get all kinds of free stuff. You get extra access for the Renaissance Nerd videos. You get the full and proper instructions for every recipe. And stay tuned for this week's Renaissance Nerd episode. We are going to be doing slicing and getting ready for that Shepherd Booth's pie. That will be next week. We get into the entree, but this week we will be doing the slices and cuts and all of the prep for that. If you are new to the channel and what I'm saying sounds Greek to you, then definitely click that subscribe button so you can be in the know. If you like this episode, click that like button. If you are falling behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, click or tap that box to the left of my face to do that. Or you can click or tap the box right above it if you want to go check out the Adventures in Photography videos. But before you click on anything or go to any of these websites, guys, always remember, that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.